Last week, I lectured you on the difference between a true conservative and a communist. And then I released a bridge video to this one. Many times, and this is very aggravating for me, many times on YouTube, Google, and wherever, I come across the stubborn individual with the stubborn view that socialism, communism, and fascism are three different things. They're not three different ideologies. They're three different rungs on the collectivist ladder. Now, I've already spoken about this last week, but because of the stubborn individuals, I'm going to do it again. On the bottom of the collectivist ladder, we have the conservative progressive. This is not the conservative that was intended, or the conservative that our nation began with, the constitutionalists. This is the conservative progressive that was created by the democratic liberal socialists above them. So at the bottom, conservative progressive. Above them, the democratic liberal socialist. Above them, the pure European socialist. Above them, the Chinese and Russian capital communists. Above them, the extremist fascists. And of course, at the top of the ladder, the true collectivists. So I hope there is no doubt in anyone's mind that they are all collectivists. Different rungs, same ladder. Today, in the United States of America, we have the conservative progressive. The conservative progressive has caved in to the democratic liberal socialists. They are willing to allow the issue of abortion to even be talked about. When the Constitution says that the government is not supposed to allow itself to become involved in lawmaking or legislation concerning any of the rights that have already been explained in the Constitution. And while there are no real discussions in the Constitution about abortion in the first place. It is a subject better left to the doctor whose Hippocratic oath does not allow him to practice abortions. Abstain or decide for yourselves as citizens if contraception is acceptable, and leave it at that. When you restrain the rights guaranteed by the Constitution, you are on the path headed for one of the 6 rungs of the ladder, collectivism. It's just a matter of time before you reach the top. The liberal progressivism of the United States of America at this point is near the socialists of the European ilk. Should they be successful in eliminating the First and Second Amendment of the Constitution, they will become communist. They will decide who is expendable and who is not. That is collectivism. Today's liberal progressive is a pure collectivist. There are no democratic representative republics in Europe. There are no representative republics in China or Russia. There are no representative republics in the Middle East. The Europeans are socialists working under the parliamentary democracy form of government. Israel is working under the parliamentary form of government. But they too are socialists. I am told time and again by the stubborn individual that Russia is no longer communism. My reply to that is a one-party system with a left wing and a communist wing is not communism? They're on the ladder, and they've simply taken a step back. But they're still above the conservative progressive and the liberal progressive. They are still nearer the communist, socialist, and fascist. China, although they have adopted forms of capitalism, is not too much unlike the plutocrats of the United States of America. The Rockefellers and the bankers. And everyone else is expendable. The Middle East, without Israel, is subject to what is known as the Islamo Republic. In these wars which we fought in the Middle East, not a one of these nations has adopted a democratic representative republic. The separation of mosque and state does not exist. The intent of our founding forefathers was to be guided by their moral, religious views, not governed by them, guided by them. You allow yourself to be governed by them, and you become a theocrat. Argue all you want about the church's part in government. The liberal progressive has taxed them to death in order to shut them up. They should have a voice, yes, but to guide, not to govern. Why would I even say that? There are religious extremists, yes, but realize that those extremists exist in the most extreme faiths. Islam, Catholicism, Judaism. A Judeo-Christian today believes in the delusion that God is going to take them out of the world before there is a war, so they won't have to fight and kill in that war. That is the mentality of a true Christian. Anti-war. The New World Order has put this into position so that they will not be resisted by the Judeo-Christian. I myself do not buy the rapture because I believe it is a product of Constantine's Roman Empire and Charlemagne's Holy Roman Empire. There is no need to say to someone that resistance is futile if they will not resist in the first place because of this foolish belief that they will not be here. But my point again is, it is the only reason why they should even be allowed to voice their opinion during elections. The Constitution originally did not prohibit, nor did it allow. It was in between. And why not? Thomas Jefferson was an atheist. I have told you that true communism does not exist because true communism, as it was intended, was only ever practiced by Jesus Christ. A lot of you get pissed off. But it's a fact. What makes something moral is the individual himself or herself. Individualists do not aspire to be collectivists. The collectivist believes that the core matters and that the few or the one can be sacrificed for the good of the core. The individualist believes that every one matters, and so you keep each individual healthy and secure to ensure that the majority thrives. We have done away with everything. Farming, small businesses, everything. We are moving toward metropolises and megalopolises. This is a collectivist dream coming to fruition. These monsters will stop at nothing unless they are stopped by us. I see no action at the moment and believe that, as Thomas Jefferson said, we may have to fight when there is no chance of victory, because it is better to perish than be a slave. I leave you today with that thought, and ask me no more, nor act arrogant, believing that the rungs of the collectivist ladder are not all the same. I'll see you next week.